What's good with the YouTube? Y'all know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, and I'm gonna smash, dash, and slide on through that little bit of energy, man. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, as well as hit that bell notification for future fire content, man. And I got an interesting topic today, man. This topic is about something that very few people know. I just barely found out about it recently, and I don't even have all the details about it, man. But it's about a a dropout organization gang that at one time was almost created in Santa Clara County Jail. Okay, this is probably about probably about within the last 10 to 12 years. Okay, as we already know, in Santa Clara County around that time, man, same time as me, there was a fucking after effect of a lot of people who fucking dropped out. A lot of people who were testifying on some indictments against a few carnales out there in San Jose. A lot of B's, a lot of C's, and whatnot. And so, from my understanding, I'm not going to even put any names on this, right? But I got a call yesterday from a homie right there who's in corporate. And he got caught up, he got indicted in one of the indictment cases, man. And he was telling me what happened. Whoa. He said, yeah, he goes, he felt a favor, right? He told me that, yeah, he goes, you know, he mentions people's names, and he goes, you know, they tried to create their own little gang, he said. He goes, they called it ORB. I go, ORB? He goes, yeah, Organizational Rebirth. Organizational Rebirth? He said, yeah. He goes, it was a bunch of individuals who felt that their whole circumstances and situation was due to other people within the organization who made up their own policies and procedures and pretty much politics against them. So that it was a group that was banding together in case there was any type of issues or whatnot. And he goes, I go, seriously? He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't know if, you know, this was a serious group, he said, or if this was a joking group. He goes, but there was actually people who actually got it tattooed on them. And then when they were set to testify, it was brought up that, look, you guys allegedly dropped out. You guys are set to do what you guys are going to do. Yet you guys are already starting a fucking new gang already. And that was really key to a lot of people's cases, man. That ended up coming about later on was that how are you going to use these individuals who were once part of this gang who now reestablished, trying to restructure another gang, and now they're going to testify in these court cases? So, you know, I kind of thought about it. I was like, oh man, that's kind of interesting. So we got to touch about it a little bit. He goes, yeah. He goes, a lot of them felt a certain way and didn't want to leave behind those old attitudes and those old ways. Therefore, they were making justification for their actions. Oh, this is why I did it. This is why, you know what I mean? It happened. And I'm going to do it righteous this time. We're going to push a positive movement and whoa. So basically, they started to get the idea in their head that they were going to create a group, or they talked about it and then they labeled it ORB. Now, apparently, a couple of them actually got it tattooed on them, and then they covered it up based upon the fact that it was being raised by the district attorneys that, you know, if these tattoos are seen, you know what I'm saying, you're bringing on people who have started a new gang to testify against these individuals that maybe have a personal fucking gripe against each other. And man, when I was talking to him about it, I was like, what? I've never heard of this. You know what I'm saying? And apparently it didn't take root. I don't know if it continued. I don't know if it still exists. But you know, I know some of the few people that were allegedly involved in it, and it kind of shocked me, man, because you know, once you make that choice, you know, you can't try to fix something that's been broken all these years. You can't sit there and change it. You know, if those character defects and those traits were there with disloyalty, betrayal, and whatnot, it continues along in all these groups. What makes you think it's going to be any better? You know what I mean? And if you're going by the same standards of like recruitment and doing all that education and trying to build some type of implementation, you know what I'm saying, you're only going to fail. And so what I gathered from it was these individuals were striving. I think every one of them had fucking status, right? They didn't want to accept their circumstances. So they were trying to find a different outlet to still be involved. You know, when you've been programming on a certain level, right? And you continue to program on this level, it's kind of hard when you change everything. It's kind of hard when all these years you put forth this effort into something and now it no longer exists. no longer there's no more recognition. So sometimes you will try to build something to counterattack that, you know. And when you have like-minded individuals with similar circumstances, um, it's almost like it's almost like it's therapeutical for some. It's almost like therapy for some people. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people who fell to the same type of circumstances, made the same choices, right? And now they're trying to create a group that self-justifies why they've done what they've done. At the end of the day, I said this about myself and anybody else. There ain't no justification in anything. It is what it is. Either people accept it and move on, or they don't. And that's where I stand. There may be different circumstances. There may be understandable reasons why people did what they did or do what they do. People can't argue that. But at the end of the day, you know, it's real easy to fucking feel fucking a void. You know what I'm saying? That is missing now. Because it's like when I used to get locked up, it was just natural. I knew what I needed to do. I filed my reports. I got on track within a fucking week. I was up to par. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you're locked up and that's all you know how to do, you're programmed that way. You miss that fucking respect. You miss that carnalismo. You miss all those things that you used to have being in prison. So what do? You reach out for it. Now, I'm not saying that's the ideologies of these other groups. I'm talking about one specific group that was trying to work on establishing something. And see, I don't know if they even exist. I don't know if they went kind of clandestine. I don't know if they're still recruiting, or I don't know if this was just a joke, but it was real. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of it was because everything was a new experience for them, going from being active shot callers and leaders within, the movements and whatnot, to now being labeled a PC, you know? And so, Homeboy was laughing about it when he told me about it. He goes, yeah, he goes, for real. So I'm like, what? Or organizational redeem. Was it redeem or, yeah, it was either ORD or ORB, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the right one, right? But I'm almost organizational redeem. You know what I'm saying? Which was kind of an itch, or rebirth. I forgot what he told me, but it's something along those lines, guys. And, I don't know if they try to create their own structure, but it just was kind of shocking me when I hear it because, you know what I'm saying? I know some of the people that were involved and they're educated as far as within, their previous allegiance, their previous commitments. So to me, I kind of took it as, oh, you know what, man? ORD, ORB, whatever it is, man. You know what I'm saying? That they missed it, man. People ask me sometimes, do you miss that lifestyle? No, I don't miss being in prison, right? But I miss the relationships sometimes I had built over the years with different homeboys. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I've met a lot of good Cardinales. I've met a lot of good bros. I've met a lot of good Northerners that, to this day that, they, how you say it, people may know and recognize that you can't have certain relationships if you're still in an active fucking, functioning role. But there's dudes that fucking still got a lot of love and respect for me that reach out from time to time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not ever going to expose that. And that's the part I miss. When you run into people who have a true belief in what you're pushing and pursuing and have like-minded ideas, that's where the carnalismo builds. That's where the unity builds. And I think for a lot of us that were part of something that we had recognition, we had egos, we had whatnot, it's real easy to want to reattain that within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, man, I was shocked though. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was ORD, organizational redeem. Like they're redeeming themselves. To redeem whatever action that they're changing their ways, or rebirth. It was somewhere along those lines, man. But apparently it almost took course. Apparently they had a good little group. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 or 12. But I know that what ended up happening is a lot of the district attorneys started to put pressure because they were getting pressure that these dudes were still gang members. Because everybody gets information when you're in there. Everything fucking, it passes the wire, goes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it came about that some of these dudes were pushing a gang, a new prison group, a new organization, while at the same time set up to testify in some court cases. And I was like, wow, man. I guess I would have had to have been there. You know what I'm saying? Because when a lot of people flipped, they ended up putting them all in different areas and stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of them were able to communicate and talk. And I guess when you get there, you got about, 15, 25 people, because there was a lot of people around this time frame that had just flipped. It was a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? And this was this was affected. It affected a lot of things in San Jose. You know what I'm saying? In surrounding areas, because there was that many people who ended up affected around that time. I'm talking about from like 2007 to like 2015. Whole group of individuals. A lot of information was known, and a lot of them, like I said, tried to restructure a new group. Now, like I said, I don't know if this was a joke that just fucking got a little energy going. I don't know if this was just within the Santa Clara County. I don't know if this was supposed to go into the prison system, but it is a fact. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I heard some people even got it tattooed on them, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know what to say, man. You know, I'm just glad I wasn't in position to be around it, because fucking I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know what they were thinking. But it's hard for me to sit there and, you know, if you're functioning on that high of a level, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to sit there and accept that anybody would want to go back to it after all the fucking, you know, betrayals and disloyalty and all the crooked stuff that goes down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way I rock is I rock with people on an individual level. You know what I'm saying? And I don't tell people what to do. I don't support gangs. You know what I'm saying? I don't support certain things in the lifestyle, but it is what it is, and I understand it, and that means I'm not going to push people away. If I can help people, that's the way I want to go. But yeah, just as a quick spill, I'm gonna get confirmation on what this group was called, guys. I'm gonna let you guys know.